Alright, what's up everybody? It's Justin here with Chambered Reviews. We're back at it again today with video number 2, and today we are going to break down my Glock 19X that I use in some competitions. We'll go over what I did to it, how it started versus where it is now, and what I would do differently. When I got it, it was just your run-of-the-mill 19X, didn't have any of the stuff on there. I had my local gun dealer cut the slide so we could put a just regular Glock MOS plate on it, so that way I could choose what optics I wanted without having to get the gun retapped every time. On here now, I went with the Leupold Delta Point Pro. Pretty great sight if you ask me. It's holding zero really good. I like the fact that they're a US based company. Try to do as much of that as I can. Also like the fact that you can change the battery without having to take the optic off. I think that's a huge thing for holding true zero and not having any mishaps. Secondly, we added a Faxton threaded barrel, so that way we could put the Zev Pro compensator on here. Helps with recoil, but the best thing about it, man, the dirt on the light is gone. I don't have to clean my light anymore. It doesn't get the carbon build up. You don't have to spend a day sitting there trying to scrub it clear. So that's a big plus. Obviously it helps with accuracy and whatnot, but for me that's a huge one, is my flashlight doesn't get dirty anymore. The flashlight's a TLR one. Eventually probably we'll swap that out with a Surefire, just because I've been outperformed in distance with some Surefires, and I've been pretty impressed with those X300 turbos. After that, we have the Alpha Competition Series by Timney. It's a 3-pound competition rated trigger. It's got a pretty good pull on it. Got a pretty fast reset. So, nice good competition trigger. Pulls fast, shoots fast, works great. Haven't had any malfunctions with it. Big thing I would change differently that I did was, as you can see, this homemade stipple. Functionally, feels great. Looks not so great, but feels good in the hand. It's nice, firm, feels good. So that aspect I like. I wish it looked a little cleaner, but what do you do for your first time? We added the OEM extended Glock magazine release. I had a couple different ones on there. I believe one was made by Strike. My not complaint, maybe it's something that it was just me, but I had 2 different Glock mags start to fail, and they were falling out without hitting the release. So I was wearing the little release here. It was wearing that little lip away. So I don't know if it was the mag release. I switched to the OEM one. Haven't had any issues, so we're not going back. Other thing, final thing I did to this gun. If anyone's seen the OEM Glock 19X, it's got this little bump out here. I kept running into issues. I couldn't find a good magwell that worked with that. I'm on a little flared magwell, nothing crazy, but something to help with the reloads a little bit. But I couldn't find anything that would compensate. I got a pile of them here, just sitting here because I bought so many of them just to put on stuff. So I ended up just lopping that little thing off with a Dremel, threw this one on there, and it works great. So if someone can tell me what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it, cool, but if not, that's what it worked for me. So we'll post a little video here of me shooting it.
Good. Hit. Good. Good. If you are finished unloading shit.
Can't fault the gun for the guy that's holding it being slow, but it's been great. If you liked what you've seen, like and subscribe. We're going to continue on and see where this trip takes us. I got a little video coming up here shortly of the way to fit a Glock with a muzzle device in a Safari land holster. The way to hold it, I spent days trying to figure it out. If you ever have reached out to Safari, they don't do anything. If you tell them your gun's got a threaded barrel, they pretty much hang up on you. They don't like to support any muzzle devices or any threaded barrels or anything like that. So I did the research, I took the time, I figured it out, so we'll let you know which one works with it. If you're looking for something quick and easy, the way I used to do it, in the videos you've seen when I was shooting it, I was using this Black Hawk Omnivore holster. They're pretty cool. They're made in the US, so I'm a big fan of them. Another thing, we try and stay American. It, however, is light-based retention, so it locks in and it stays hooked to the light. So anything with a TLR, you got your multiple different guns. It's kind of a cool little does all, fits all. It's not the super tight, but I mean, you ain't pulling that out without hitting the thumb release. So you got to hit the release there, pull it out, and you're good to go. Quick, easy, locks in, feels solid. Fits this gun with the muzzle device, no questions asked. So only thing I didn't like about it is in order to fit it on the quick buckle so it would fit on my drop down for my shooting belt, I had to do some Dremel in there. If you see that bottom screw, none of them really line up perfectly, so they're not meant to have this. They come with their own little holster. They got one that clips inside your waistband, and I'm sure they make one that goes to maybe their own drop down bracket. I already had a drop down, so I just put this on there. I bought one of these little clips on Amazon and just went to town with the Dremel. So it worked great. Again, if you liked everything you've seen here, like and subscribe. Peace out. Talk to you later.